Go live. We're live. All right, we're back again. First, thank the Lord. Colorado decided they couldn't do anything with that bill today, although it is kind of, well, so that puts it on till Thursday the 13th. So it's not dead. It's coming. But then moving in today kind of says that maybe they don't have enough to pass it right now. What's my crazy phone doing? Let me see. I got to copy this and do this. That over. Live life. What's up, my brother? How are you? This fine Friday afternoon. Night Strike. What's up, my brother?
Hey, how's it going?
Same old same, brother. You all right?
I found the back door.
Ha! You do like men's back doors. I'm just saying.
Well, your wife likes my wood, so you know,
Well,
you got to have column A and column B.
It's just circle of life.
Right? You got to be open to all options, right?
well, maybe not that open. Oh man, how you been, brother?
It's good. The shit we get into, right?
Oh man, we can shoot shit about anything and make a damn joke out of anything.
So. Live life. You should hear us off air. We're worse.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. It's pretty much the same way we are when we're here. So we just tend to show off more guns.
Well, yeah, because YouTube and live streaming with guns, which what the fuck? The Google CEO was at the inauguration, and he's thrown his lot in with Trump. So what the fuck is going on with YouTube? Why aren't they walking back the restrictions?
I don't know.
Because they're owned by Google.
You would think. Which I mean, I understand some of the stuff with streaming, but I mean, you would think if someone wants to do something and really put it on YouTube, that there's or on social media in general, there's plenty of different ways to do it. Like
Right.
plenty.
Well, hey, live life D23 and
And the chat's open, guys. There's a link in should be pinned too. But yeah,
you think so?
so I mean, you got to figure Rumble. Okay, we can go. I could shut down the video on YouTube. We could open up Rumble and we can handle firearms. No harm, no foul. Everything's just fine.
Yeah.
So you would think YouTube would finally just give the shit up and be like, okay, look, man, you guys handled firearms for a long time. So you know, get back to getting.
I know, right?
But they damn sure ain't coming off of it. Now, who's to say they might not later? But they damn sure ain't coming off of it right now. And especially because, like I said, I got to figure out a way to do it where I can keep the audio on YouTube, but shut the video down, and then keep video and audio on Rumble. If there's a way I can do that, I know I can shut video down on YouTube, but I think it shuts down video and audio. So I don't know. Shayna, sister, what's up? What did you see? Strike, did you see this video with the Democrats trying to get into the Department of Education today?
Have you seen that the only thing they have in response to to argue with the overspending, they're not mad that they got caught. They're not mad that the money's being improperly spent. They're mad that someone was appointed and not elected or confirmed to do the job.
Well, all these idiots are elected. They trample our rights constantly and don't give a shit about the Constitution. So I'm all for a private citizen, which is what Musk is a private citizen, actually going in there and doing the job.
I mean, what the fuck?
And notice, they jump up and down about all this stuff, but they will not go through that list and defend all this crap. They won't go through the list that, like, the press secretary was up there talking about. They're not going to go through that list and defend all this stuff.
No.
These poor guys in Botswana really do need sex changes. Well, how?
I mean, what the hell does Hamas need condoms for?
Well, from what I heard, that was actually a city of a country in Africa. It wasn't the Hamas.
No, it was Palestine.
Was it? Someone said it was something in Africa. It wasn't the Hamas we were thinking of.
What do Hamas need condoms for? I mean, seriously?
Well, they're going to make balloon animals out of them, or they're going to fill them with explosives or gasoline to throw it at somebody. I mean, that's about it.
Right.
I mean, it's not keeping them from breeding.
No, they breed like wildfire over there.
I mean,
is that too soon? Considering the fires in California?
No, not at all. It's never too soon for that joke. Wait till the rain hits and all the mudslides start. Because that's coming. With all the foliage and everything that just got burned up, the mudslides kick in. It's like clockwork. It happens all the time. Because you just burned off everything that was holding the soil in place in the first place.
I've lived out there before.
I have been out to California exactly one time to Stockton years ago to visit my uncle when he was living out there. And I have no need to go back to anywhere in California.
No.
I mean, beautiful country.
I haven't been in California since the 90s, so
That was it was 90s when we went there.
Because I lived there when it was like I lived there between 96 92 and 94.
Wait, what year? It had to been 94, 95, maybe, when we were over there to see my uncle.
We might have been in the state at the same time.
Could be.
That'd be funny.
But yeah, it's like I said, beautiful country, traveling through California, but dude, that's all I can say about it. And I know there are good people in California. I'm not insulting everybody in California, but I am. But the rest of that state, I've just got nothing for it.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, when it was the 90s, it was all right.
It wasn't as bad back then, but
right.
It was still crazy.
It was still crazy, but it wasn't. Oh my God, I've lost my fucking mind. Bad, like it is.
No, it wasn't that bad. No,
it wasn't that I have no semblance of brain cells whatsoever. They've all gone out the window.
Well, I mean, look at it. Look at any state, and we can pretty much say the same thing for just about any state. I don't know a single state that you could say suddenly has more sanity now than they did back then. And maybe one's just slipping my mind because I am, in fact, insane. But I can't think of a single state that was like, oh, man, they were crazy as hell back then. But nah, man, everything's good now. It's cool.
I'm going to say South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Because we got constitutional carry now.
That's about what I was going to say. That's about the only thing I can think of offhand.
There used to be a ban on open carrying and having unconstitutional carry, and they said, oh yeah, you can carry your rifle or shotgun all day long without a license. It's fine, and to some degree they were right, because most people would only do that to go hunting. But if you went down the street or something, you would get arrested, open carrying. So, no, not even if you did anything with them, if you were just carrying them.
Oh, there's no doubt these dipshits over here, a lot of these sheriffs in Alabama would arrest my happy ass if I just decided to walk down the road with an AR.
Right.
And we are an open carry state. We've been an open carry state.
Right. So, but the laws in South Carolina have gotten better.
The laws have gotten better.
So I would say that South Carolina is better off today than it was in the 90s.
In a well, not a small way, but in one way.
No, in two ways.
Hmm.
Because now we also have one of the best firearms manufacturers in the country here.
Oh, well, that is true.
Yeah, we got Palmetto State Armory.
But
and people say, oh, no, they're not the best. No, they're not the best. They're one of the best. So that means they're among good company.
People have no idea how many so-called high-end firearms they own, and Palmetto makes a lot of the parts for it.
Mm-hmm. They do make parts for a lot of companies that they contract out to.
Yeah. Agorizer, what's up, brother man?
Right. It's like, Daniel Defense will say that they make all their parts. Not the internals.
What's up, brother Phil?
Daniel Defense does not make all the internal parts. They contract that shit out.
Yeah.
The only thing they'll do is get a bolt that's already made that they plaster their name all over.
And there's a lot
and
of
every company does that out there.
Yeah.
Every company does that out there. Don't let them lie to you saying that they don't do that, that they just, they make their own bolts. Nobody makes their own bolts. They buy them third party and then slap their name over them.
Look, it's no different with lower receivers. People can talk about this lower, that lower, this lower, that lower. All the lowers are made by a handful of companies.
Actually, that one is true, because if you look on every lower or upper receiver for an AR-15, you'll see a small little mark at the end, and that's because only a couple different forges or whatnot make the lowers in the country. So you'll see a different mark, and that's for a different forge or manufacturer that literally makes them all for everybody.
Yeah, you've only got a few places because you've got your billet receivers and your forge receivers.
Yeah.
Very few people make the forgings. And then only a handful of people take the forgings and actually make the receivers themselves out of the forgings.
Yeah.
And about those same people are the ones doing the actual billet receivers.
I believe in the country there's like 4 different forges.
Yeah.
And don't quote me on this. I'm just going off from what I remember. It could be more, it could be less. They could have, some could have closed, but from the markings I've seen, there have been 4 different distinct markings.
Yeah, I think there used to be 5. Now there's 4. And actually producing finished lower receivers, I think there might be 5. And Palmetto owns a couple of those.
Well, there's 4 main ones.
Yeah.
But there's more. There's more. I know there's some smaller ones too. So don't.
Oh yeah, there's tons that are smaller companies, but that are putting in a block of aluminum and shitting out a receiver. There's a lot of small companies that are doing that. But out of your mains, I think there's only like 5, and I'm pretty sure Palmetto owns 2 of them at least, if not 3. So, there's a good chance that receiver from your high end gun came from the same damn place that Anderson receiver came from. Is what it comes down.
It's true.
Right? It's yeah, you can. There's a lot of really solid guns that aren't your real high end guns. Now, are they going to like barrel components are a big thing? Are they going to last 10,000 rounds full auto fire? No, probably not. Are they going to last me for decades? Yeah. And when it comes down to it, if shit hit the fan and everything went crazy, my poverty ponies are going to get me some really high end rifles when it comes down to it.
Poverty ponies for the win.
Yeah. Now, would I love to have some of these real high end rifles? Sure, I would.
I mean, the most high end rifles I have are the ones that I've had Mark Novak work on.
Oh, absolutely. When you get down to his level of skill,
because he helped me with my M1 carbine when I got it almost perfect with that stock. You saw that stock.
Yeah.
He helped me do some of the staining on an upper handguard to make it look perfect.
Man, that dude is just a fucking wizard.
And when I showed him, Mark, I got a foul. Yeah, it's been neutered, but do you think you could help me put this a flash hider on it? And he's like, bring it down, because Mark loves fouls. He loves working on them. He loves them, period, because he is a foul guy.
Dude, I want a foul. I want an FAL.
Mine's a Sentry L1A1, so it's a British foul, but it's still a foul. Yeah. And Sentry made the particular ones that they imported from Canada, because basically they had to send them from Brazil, the receivers from Brazil to Canada, and have them marked imported from Canada in order to get around the imbel ban.
Yeah, these import bans, man. I wish Trump would sign an executive order, just killing all previous executive orders and start from scratch.
I'm gonna go on a rant here for a minute. Okay. What the fuck is Trump doing? He said he would go for gun rights, but have you seen the shit that's coming out of the ATF right now? Dude. It's like they still think Biden is in charge and telling them and breathing down their neck to do gun control. Did they not get the memo that it's not a Democrat government anymore? It's a conservative government now. Did they not get the fucking memo?
These swamp rats at the ATF do not care.
Why hasn't a single motherfucker been fired yet?
Hopefully that's a coming. Now, apparently, and I haven't heard the whole story yet. I haven't looked into it. Pam Bondi basically told the ATF, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, to pretty much all your resources going towards firearms right now to clear up backlogs on background checks and all kinds of shit. Um, so we'll see. I really don't trust how the ATF is going to react to that.
Did you
'Cause I
see
think
what they did just the other day?
which one?
They made the AK Super Safety a machine gun.
They are trying to, very much so. Yes.
It's like and they're ignoring court decisions. What the fuck are they doing?
What's up, Mr. Knives?
Why
they're doing the
why
same
hasn't
thing.
Hegseth or anybody else in the government bitch slapped them into compliance?
I don't know, but I wish they would hurry up and do it if they're going.
Because if I have to call Trump and tell him to go down and fire the motherfucker in charge of the ATF right now, I will fucking do it.
It'll be interesting to see who they pick to put in charge of the ATF. That's going to be a big tell right there.
I've heard that motherfucker who's the acting director. That guy is no better than Dettelbach.
Not a whole lot.
He is not any better.
Because what's his name? That's in charge right now. He was the one. He wanted ATF director bad, and then they passed him over, and of course they tried with old numbnuts, and then we ended up with Dettelbach.
I mean, honestly, we need Brandon Herrera.
Dude,
I know it's not going to happen, but we need somebody like him in charge of the ATF, or someone like Patel, who they put in charge of the FBI.
Well, you need someone in charge of that agency who actually knows jack shit about firearms, but who is not anti-gun. And everybody at that agency right now just seems to be fucking anti-gun.
Not just anti-gun, they're anti-American. They don't read the Second Amendment. They're like, how can we take more shit away from the American people under the guise of compliance?
Well, yeah, I mean, they've never given a shit about the Second
Amendment. How do we steal more from the American people instead of actually work for them like we're supposed to?
Oh man, they have never thought they worked for us.
No, I'm not saying that they think. Who the fuck cares what they think? I don't. But my point is, they're supposed to be working for us, not against us.
Yeah, well, they've never ever worked for us. They are never going to work for us.
And if that's the case, then they need to be let go. Period.
All right, let's face it. Most all these government agencies were created just to build up the federal workforce with people who don't give a damn about constitutional rights and will support the government at any cost. And that's all they ever do. Muffin Top, what's up, brother man?
Oh, it's Muffin Top. There you go. So, yeah. So, yes, I'm a little heated on this, but I've seen the shit they've been doing. They're ignoring a pistol brace ruling. They're doing this.
They're trying hard to.
They're trying to call the AK Super Safety an auto conversion device or a machine gun conversion device.
Basically, trying to call it a drop-in auto sear.
A drop-in auto sear when it's not, because it still requires the trigger and it requires a sear. So I'm sorry, but
it still requires that the trigger fully reset and then the trigger be depressed again for every single shot.
Yeah.
Now, it may force that trigger to reset like a normal forced reset trigger, but still the trigger goes forward, it resets, and it has to be pulled to the rear again to allow the next shot. But, they're still lying to people. And Crump said it the other day, they're still lying to people about the FRT, telling law enforcement agencies that the FRTs are full autos, and they're not.
They're not. And what is Pam Bondi doing? Why isn't she telling them to get out of every fucking court case right now against taking shit away from the American people?
I don't know, and I don't trust Pam Bondi with anything firearms related. So that's like the word on the street was, and I haven't watched Mark from Four Boxes Diners video on it yet, talking about again Pam Bondi telling the ATF, hey, all of your resources are going towards firearms right now, and it's supposedly to clear up background checks and take care of compliance issues. But basically, from what he was saying, it would ultimately be better for gun owners, and I don't trust that worth a shit. Um, the federal government shouldn't be in the business of regulating firearms at all in the first place. Um, and even it's talked about, hey, we're gonna disband the ATF or abolish the ATF Act. All you're going to do is shift those duties off to all these other law enforcement agencies. You're still not doing shit. So what it really needs to be is firearms are removed out of the purview of any fucking government regulation.
Yeah.
Period. End of story. Unless I use this thing to hurt somebody in a way or without just cause, then the government shouldn't even be involved with what the fuck I own. Period.
I know.
So, and you see the one with the Fifth Circuit the other day, 3 of the justices in the Fifth Circuit saying suppressors weren't covered under the Second Amendment. They're not a firearm, they're not covered under the Second Amendment. Okay, if they're not a firearm, then how are you regulating it in the first place? How is it even a charge?
I know.
But I've said it before. Government always plays the game of hide and go fuck yourself, and you get to go first every single time. They will argue something one way when it suits their cause. They're going to argue it the next way when it suits their cause, and it's always we win, you lose. And that's what drives me shit about some of these judges, because these judges hear these other decisions coming down the pipe. And if these justices can look at the way something was decided in this other court and go, well, wait a second. Wait. No, they argued that it wasn't a firearm. Here's a guy being charged in my court with a suppressor. So I'm going to treat this like it's not a firearm. And I'm just going to say, well, it's not a firearm. Government don't get to regulate it.
Right.
Which would be my case. But no, I mean, it's live by said. I don't see how the ATF can keep unlawful registry, facial recognition database of gun owners. Well, they shouldn't be able to.
Don't even get me started on that one. Do not.
When it started out, so like a 4473, you go in, you fill this thing out, and they run a background check on you, right? When that background check comes back, that firearms dealer should be able to slide that 4473 right through a damn shredder and then right into a fire. And it shouldn't even be kept.
Mm-hmm.
At best, they should keep a record of a sale. Hey, this gun was sold, that's in their books, and it's mainly inventory purposes for them. But that 4473 should be burnt.
Yep.
But nope, they got to have their registry. And that's all a 4473 is. Oh, I still got these Democrats playing in the background, listening to them in front of the Department of Education, and it's funny as shit. They are terrified that Trump is going to get rid of the Department of Education, and the Department of Education should be gotten rid of. It never should have existed in the first place. These people are absolutely insane. They really are.
I know.
Let's see. This is here it is. This should be it.
Да. Идите в спортивния и работя виките и принесите ми государствения форм 4473. Жълто яве, той картотеки.
Weapons, list of private ownership.
Yeah. Why was it all in Spanish
Thank our government.
when they were speaking Russian?
Well, they were the Spanish people working with the Russians. You watched the movie again. They were speaking Spanish. They were from South America.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, it was Venezuela, Mexico, whoever else. I can't remember. I gotta watch that movie again, dude. I haven't watched Red Dawn in forever, and definitely not the new Red Dawn. The new Red Dawn sucks. It was complete Chinese propaganda. Because I'm pretty sure the new Red Dawn, they had that as the Chinese invading America, but guess who financed the movie and got to decide, no, you can't use the Chinese for that. China financed the movie, like they do for a lot of Hollywood movies. China has dictated what is in a lot of movies because they're bankrolling a lot of shit. And they will tell these directors, nope, you can't do that in your movie because this has to be distributed in China. China's a big market. We're funding some of this. So, no, you can't have that in your movie. So you got to change it. And that's what, if they had left the second Red Dawn the way it was scripted out and the way people talked about it, it might have been a good movie. But no, it ended up being a steaming pile of dog shit. The old Red Dawn, the classic, is where it's at.
Yep.
You see, there was something else. Hold on. Hell, right now the ATF is still holding on to what, like 1 billion records in their database that they should have destroyed. They were told to destroy. And that was what, two years ago they were told to destroy all that shit?
I know. Preaching to the choir.
Now, let's see. Tell you what. This is one of the latest videos where anybody's talking about a possible new ATF director. If you're not following Braden from Langley Outdoors, he's a pretty good dude. He's got some pretty decent information. Some days I like him, some days I don't. What are you laughing
at? Oh, I wouldn't watch.
You laughing at me?
No, I'm laughing at Braden. I'm laughing at Braden. I don't watch that dude. First time I saw a video of his, you know what that was? He was shooting a fish live on stream off of his AR-15. And then I told him he should have used an AK, and he said, I don't own an AK.
Oh man, hopefully he's got one now. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to stop watching this dude. I don't like all the stuff. I like some of it.
Dude, I mean, the dude's a joke. Okay. He started doing this because he couldn't live stream him shooting stuff on, on family land anymore.
Well, I mean, if I could just live stream myself walking around shooting shit, I wouldn't be doing this either.
And he didn't have very good ARs either. I tell you that too.
Fix it together. The content that I'm about to show you position from the new AG of putting a seasoned law enforcement officer of age and distinction.
And that is just going to drive me up the wall. But it's probably this. It's probably where this is going, right? They're going to find some cop who's all about that law enforcement and back the blue, and that's going to be the new head of the ATF.
In that position, this is a really bad idea. I'm going to walk you through the entire thing because the people who are making these decisions, everything is going to be linked of what I can link right down there. And guys,
come on,
this is where your activism hits the road. You have a chance. I'm going to walk you through it right now. Okay. So as you guys are, I'm sure, familiar, Pam Bondi doesn't have the cleanest record when it comes to Second Amendment.
No, she supports red flag laws and a bunch of other shit that none of us like.
No.
So no, she ain't got a clean record
at all.
But let's see where he's rolling with us, because I haven't paid too much attention to it in the last little bit.
Stuff. She just doesn't. Okay, that's just a fact in reality. Well, now she's the Attorney General. In fact, GOA just put this out. Our team stands ready to work with Ms. Bondi and the Trump administration to restore Second Amendment rights lost during Biden's reign. However, our rights are non-negotiable, and we will fight any attempts to further erode the right to keep and bear arms. That's a phenomenal answer. That's a phenomenal support statement, and that's also a phenomenal warning. Go team, go team, go. Okay.
Yeah, and you want to know what even Pam Bondi and Trump are going to do with that? They're pretty much going to wipe their ass with it. So Trump wasn't the greatest on firearms in his first term, and I don't think he learned a whole lot when it came to firearms so far on this one.
So now let's walk into this, because Pam Bondi was just confirmed. And now the leaked conversations that I'm getting are that she is very seriously a supporter of putting a older, more seasoned LEO or law. That's not a Second Amendment supporter. That is going to end badly. And the reason that that's going to end badly is because that's exactly what we've had for years at this point.
All right. So that's his. And then let me look at. Let me see what Mark Smith. We'll look at what Mark Smith was talking about with Pam Bondi, because he just put out. Where is it? He just put out a video. Or did he actually? No, he did an actual video on it. I thought it. Well, maybe he was just talking about it. But I thought he actually put out a video on why it was going to be a good thing with Pam Bondi, but I'm not seeing it. Because I really, really, really don't. She could surprise me, but I don't see her being the greatest on firearms.
I don't either.
Live life. You don't own an AK. You SOB. You're in Alabama. We'll get all the parts. I'll help you build one. That's the best way to own one anyway.
Yeah, Foos built mine. I don't have the PSA one anymore. I sold that.
Yeah, you told me you sold your PSA one.
And for anyone that's listening in the ATF, I sold it to an FFL. So, you know. Yeah,
so eat a big one.
So, you know, yeah.
Hey, sing and dance for a minute. I got to check on my laundry.
I don't want to.
Well,
I'm not your private dancing monkey.
Dance monkey.
So what's going on, peeps? What's going on? Live Life doesn't have an AK. Big Angry Phil's out there, Agorizer's out there with the trademarked don't tread on me with peanut. That poor squirrel. Just 10B's out there. He says, I refuse to own an AK. Well, you know, no one's perfect. But that doesn't mean we aren't going to make fun of you. It's like Live Life is like, now I don't own anything with cereal. You don't have to make your own receiver. You don't have to have a cereal. Agorizer still has his PSA AK. I've got a build AK. You know, it was made from a build a kit. So, and then I have the Norinco NHM91 RPK. I've got the Chinese made Saiga copy. So it's basically a Saiga 12, but it's Chinese made. So yeah. Either way, you know, it's a semi-auto shotgun AK. That's all I cared about. So there you go. Yeah. Sold most of my ARs, so I'm down to like 3 or 4 ARs. Not fun. So
I'm back.
he's back. Yay. Now I can go back and do other things.
Agorizer said he still got his PSAK.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember they were talking about that.
When it came to a mass, I can't say mass produced, but when it came to a pretty well off the shelf produced AK, American made AK, and I haven't fired one. I've had my hands on a couple of them, but PSA's AKs were looking great. I mean, they weren't, insanely just this, radical AK, but the ones I had my hands on were good. I mean, they felt fine.
They're good AKs. Don't let anybody else tell you different.
No, I mean, for a gun, you can go out and get it a reasonable price to have an AK. I mean, they seem like good guns. Way better than other companies American companies that have tried building AKs. IO Inc. Built bombs more than they built guns.
And what was the other one? It was IO Inc. and that one that just closed recently.
You're not talking about Clash USA, are you?
No, it's like James Riffer Armory or something like that. No, not JRA. It was Pioneer Arms. That's what it was.
I don't think I ever had my hands on one of theirs. There was another brand AK, it's another brand AK.
Pioneer Arms. They made AKs and they weren't the greatest. They were really cheap AKs.
Yeah, this was another kind of smaller, kind of mid-sized company. I can't remember who it was. The couple of their guns that I looked at, I didn't like.
Ron,
what's up, brother, man? But
Ron, I got your email the other day. Thank you.
Pioneer Arms.
Yeah, Pioneer Arms were awful. Don't buy them.
I don't know whether I ever had my hands on one of their guns. I was trying to think. Maybe that one underfolder I looked at one time a couple years ago might have been Pioneer. But when it came down to it, any of the guns that I looked at off the shelf AKs that weren't imports, that were American made, fucking PSA had the best looking ones out there. Now, and if you wanted to talk about, higher end AKs, built AKs, I mean, there are some people doing those that, that are, I mean, absolutely solid, beautiful guns, but you're going to pay $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 for them. You're talking about Arsenal and higher quality guns. Where is? Hold on. Oh, the tab's right there, you fucking blind bastard. I'll see if I can find that one tweet from 4Boxes and the reason he thought freaking Pam Bondi was going to be so good. There's times I think, and I know Mark is seriously a smart dude from 4Boxes Diner, but there's times I think, man, he is vastly overrating people sometimes.
There's a time where they want to. Some people want to be optimistic, and I really want to be optimistic too. But again, you know, I've seen the shit that's going on with the ATF. It's like, so nothing's changed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Trump, what the fuck? You said you're gonna, you've done like half of your campaign promises. Get this shit done. Grill someone to the wall. Use someone as a scapegoat, but do something with the fucking ATF.
Hold on. Let's look. Let me share this tab and we'll look through. Because I haven't.
And help bring bad actors to justice, policymakers and federal agencies must consider the potential impact of its use on civil rights and civil liberties, because the potential for error and the potential to misidentify someone could lead to the arrest and prosecution of an innocent person. While the technology may support criminal investigations and help bring bad actors to justice.
Pretty much, man, when it comes down to it, there's a lot of times Democrats have come out against facial recognition software and stuff like that. And it's mainly they have a couple of different reasons. One of them, they're saying, well, you know, we don't need to identify everybody that's at these protests. And the other one is, well, they have a bad track record of identifying black people. They're not against that being a government power. They're just afraid that it might adversely affect black people. And I've got news for them. So do your fucking gun laws, you bunch of dumb shits.
Mm-hmm.
These idiots in Alabama. One of them in a hearing last year wanted like vaping in a car that where a child might be present, wanted that to be like a misdemeanor or something. A ticketable offense at the least. So what you're going to do is you're going to give police yet another reason to pull over anybody that they want to pull over because, hey, I thought I saw that person vaping and that looked like a car seat in the back seat. They politicians are really truly just brainless people who want to give the government as much power as possible. And then they'll run around in the same hearing, they'll run around saying, well, you know, this is adversely affecting people of color, and this is always used for these racist intentions. Well, yeah, you're giving them all the ammunition they need, you idiot. You're giving them every way possible to abuse the stuff. I was trying to see whether anybody had posted something about a possible ATF director, but it's right, man. If they go with like career law enforcement to head up the ATF's just it's going to be business as usual. And it's going to stay the same way it has been under the Biden administration. They're going to find new and more creative ways to shut down FFLs and to go after people on firearms offenses. And that's all it's going to be. Meridian Defense. Yeah, that was another company I was thinking about for AKs, DB, was Meridian. I think the one time I went down to, oh God, there's a gun store down south of me. It's in Dothan. I don't think of the name of I've heard about them from a bunch of big people. Supposed to be a real good gun store, but they had a couple of Meridian Defense AKs down there. The one time I've been down there, and they were pretty solid. They were good looking guns. I believe the average AK flats are somewhere around 1.2 mils. Normally they're going to be 1 mil or 1.5s, depending, for the actual sheet metal thickness. So it's going to be a millimeter. It's going to be a millimeter and a half. Standard, regular old stamped AKs, run of the mills are typically 1 mil. Krebs Saiga would be cool too. Oh yeah, it would. Krebs, man, built some outstanding AK parts and fixtures and everything. I mean, it's insane. Now, do I like all their stuff? No, there's some of their stuff that looks really, really cool, and really, really sexy. But would I put it on an AK? No, not really. Or am I kind of getting them over kind of confused with J-Mac? Maybe I am a little bit. But Krebs built some beautiful stuff. And J-Mac parts are freaking insane cool.
Yeah.
One of my, what is it? Yeah, my AK pistol's got a J-Mac brake on it. I can't remember which one. But I put a J-Mac brake on that one, and that freaking gun shoots nice. And that brake is not heavy. It doesn't add a whole lot of weight to the gun. That's sort of the reason I went with that one. Now, they've got other ones that look like they're as big as a damn Coke can that stick all off the sides and into the barrel that look really, really cool. But damn, not really my style to throw on an AK. I'll put it that way. Chessboard, what's up, brother man? You and your bananas.
Oh no, not the bananas.
He put together another video. Matter of fact, I think he might have put it out this morning because I saw it. I was had to run in town first thing this morning after I dropped my daughter off. I was sitting there waiting on something and it popped up. It's the Minions. It's freaking cool. Let's see if there's anything new here. Oh, David Chipman. That was that moron. I was trying to think of his name earlier that they tried to put in.
Yeah, well, he's not getting in now.
No. There's no way. But the one from the ATF, they skipped Marvin. Is it Marvin something? He was acting director of the ATF for a while, and he wasn't bad. They skipped over him and tried to put Chipman in. Then Chipman got shot down. That's how we ended up with Dettelbug.
I had an endearing name for him.
What's that?
Dettel Dick.
Dettel Dick? Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
And Lurch.
No, Lurch looked better than him.
Yeah, which is true. According to leaked Attorney General Pam Bondi is considering recommended a seasoned bureaucrat ATF. That's probably just that.
So I did have another name for Chipman.
What was that?
Bucktooth.
Yeah, he was kind of bucktooth, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Remember the picture of him standing basically in the ashes at Waco?
Yeah, and he says that wasn't him.
He was there still dealing with some of that shit.
He said that wasn't him, but that I don't believe him.
So hold on, wait a second. Who is this? One Click Global. I don't even know who the fuck this is. So I'm definitely not kicking that link out the chat because I really don't know. One Click Politics. But apparently, well, I guess this is gun owners, and they're using One Click Politics for this. And this is like a petition to send to Pam Bondi, which
Ooh,
I don't know.
ooh, look what Chessboard said. Had to put his glasses on. He read circumcised.
Oh, well, you know.
Wow. Wow, that's pretty bad.
But Chess is an older guy, you know, sometimes you have vision problems.
Yeah. It's not his fault. Not his fault.
You know, it's probably all those nudie mags he used to look at. He done made himself go blind.
Well, you know.
You know what they say, man? Idle hands are the devil's work, and busy hands will make you go blind.
Is that what they say?
That's what I heard.
You know, I thought he was going blind because he saw, Kamala Harris circa 1990.
Now, this is off of the reload. Let me share this. We'll look through this because this is about ATF directors. Now, this has more to do with Pam Bondi, I think, shifting resources. So, Bondi orders ATF to shift resources away from alcohol and tobacco. This is a read on the article. In one of her first acts as Attorney General, Pam Bondi ordered an apparent reshuffling of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives as part of the memo outlining the Trump administration approach to charging and sentencing. Bondi ordered ATF to deprioritize some enforcement efforts. Instead, she told the agency to focus resources on areas ranging from immigration enforcement to human trafficking and transitional gangs. However, she also told them not to deprioritize firearms regulations. I'm already not liking that. To free resources, because I knew they were trying to tell the ATF, hey, you need to be focusing on immigration and gangs and shit like that. I knew that's part of where some of that was going. To free resources to address more pressing priorities, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives shall shift resources from its alcohol, tobacco enforcement programs to focus on matters relating to the other priorities set forth herein, Bondi said in the memo. No resources shall be diverted from ATF's regulatory responsibilities, such as federal firearms licenses and background checks. Do they actually give the memo? All right, this looks like the memo. February 5th, 2025. General policy regarding charging, plea negotiations, and sentencing. So this is just a straight up Department of Justice is where that's going. What'd she say? These tasks require the exercise of discretion. However, prosecutorial, say it, you moron, discretion is bounded by the Constitution, states, and case law, state and local ethical requirements, policy decisions set forth by the president. Prosecutors and all components of the U.S. Attorney's Office make charging decisions in two steps. At first, I'll breeze to that later and see whether there's anything juicy in there. But where do we get to the ATF end of this? Because so far I don't see shit to do with the ATF and that. Now this went out, I think, to the everybody involved in the Department of Justice to free resources to address more pressing priorities, and end the risk of further weaponization and abuses of prosecutorial discretion. The Foreign Influence Task Force shall be disbanded. So hey, there you go. Resource criminal charges under the Foreign Agents Registration Act, 18 USC, shall be limited to instances of alleged conduct similar to more traditional espionage, foreign government actors. So again, okay, here we go. Shifting ATF resources. So this is a part concerning the ATF, and which is what we just basically read. The free resources addressing more pressing priorities, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives,
And
shall shift resources from its alcohol tobacco programs.
and another thing, what also pisses me off is the factor that those January 6th people got off, but what about CRS and that other dude? Why are they still in prison?
Oh, dude, man, you look at CRS, look at the dude, the Navy guy who the ATF royally screwed.
If Trump really wanted to do the fucking job that he said he was going to do, he'd pardon those people right now.
Yeah,
he can pardon people at any time. He doesn't have to do it at a set time. He can just stroke a fucking pen. Boom, done.
Yeah, and see, those were all fed cases, so he could definitely work those. Someone like Dexter Taylor and a bunch of cases in New York and some other places like that, he couldn't do shit about because those were state cases. But CRS, the guy from the Navy, and there's a few others I can't remember names of offhand. Yeah, he could definitely squash those and have those guys at home tomorrow.
Anybody that was prosecuted because they had an FRT, or what else did they make illegal? Or anybody was prosecuted that had a bump stock, after they banned it, even though those people didn't get out of prison. Even after the bump stocks were written, it's unconstitutional. They're still in prison.
Was there anybody who actually went to prison over a bump stock?
I don't know, but I would hazard a guess that probably some John, Dick, or Harry did.
I mean, I would say there probably is a case of it. I just didn't know one offhand.
Yeah. But again, it seems like we're getting half of what we were promised.
Yeah, and it's definitely looking like that so far. I mean, I appreciate him raising hell and doing all the shit that he's doing, and I appreciate the fact that liberals' heads are exploding right now. But I definitely want to see more on the hey, let's get the ATF and the federal government off people's asses over firearms.
Yeah, and they're not. They're doubling down. They're doing the exact opposite. It's pissing me off. I might actually have to call him. I don't want to. I don't want to have to. But I don't want to have to bug anybody. But this kind of shit is ridiculous. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. This is the shit they promised wasn't going to continue happening.
The ATF director should have been a really, really easy position to fill. And it seems if Trump wanted to be the gun guy and really prove he was a gun guy, he should have had somebody ready to go in that position before he signed before he put his hand on the Bible and swore in. He should have had somebody ready to go. And it bothers me, and it's bothering me more and more that we aren't hearing that yet.
Yeah.
What does it say? Hold on. So this is some of the latest. that I'm seeing. So, according to leaked information that's being reported by the New York Times, now also by pro-gun YouTubers like Jared from Guns and Gadgets and Braden Langley, Bondi is considering recommending a non-ideological person who is an older, more seasoned LEO.
So another anti-gun asshole. That's
is
just what
it
we fucking
looks
need.
like. Her short list allegedly includes several former and current top ATF officials. Pretty much all of them should be out of the running.
All of them should be fired.
To put it bluntly, it'd be a disaster for the Second Amendment. Yeah, no shit. Biden's head of the ATF, Stephen Dettelbach, an older, non-ideological, more seasoned LEO, as millions of gun owners were painfully aware, he spent years leading an all-out assault on our 2A rights. I'm still not seeing anybody's names really getting thrown out there. You know, David Chitman, he was another seasoned law enforcement officer. It would be a mistake for a pro-gun administration to appoint another seasoned bureaucrat who knows nothing about the Second Amendment. No shit. Just as a reason I support GOA. I'm not trying to break their balls or anything.
No, but they're preaching the choir.
Yeah. But I definitely want to know. I definitely want to know the choices. And I definitely don't want to see some so-called seasoned law enforcement officer who's basically spent a career enforcing unconstitutional gun laws put in charge of the ATF. That would be an absolute kick in the nuts. A lot of harm is done in the name of law and order over the years, such as registering gun owners in the name of fighting crime, attacking a group of loners in Waco, Texas, shooting down long-established gun stores for shutting down law enforcement gun stores for mistakes of using mentally handicapped. The ATF, and this is where it gets into some of the stuff you were talking about earlier. The ATF is defying judicial rulings against its unconstitutional gun control measures, despite its court striking down their other policies. The ATF has continued attempts to unlawfully enforce its pistol brace.
Anybody who ignores a court order should be fired. They shouldn't be, continue frolicking and doing what the fuck they're doing. They should be fired.
Well, any of these guys that are coming in here and trying to enforce the pistol braces and things like that should be going to jail, not just fired. I mean, that's an absolute abuse of power. I would say it's false imprisonment and all kinds of shit. And see these fucking cops in a lot of these cases, and I'll say especially sheriffs, and sheriffs are supposed to be elected. They should be our first line of defense, or well, the second line of defense against unconstitutional laws, because they should just refuse to enforce them. No, lawmakers, we're not enforcing that stupid shit. It's absolutely unconstitutional. But instead, they will drag you out of your car, beat your ass, put handcuffs on you, and tell you it's the law. And that's where I have serious issues with a lot of law enforcement. It'll probably be for Selly, the dude who leaked. I don't know, Matt. Post some more about that, and maybe we'll do some digging. I don't know anything about the about Forcelli. The dude who leaked F and F.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Matt. I don't know a whole lot about the dude. So, hey, leaks or send some stuff or post some shit in the chat. We can look up. Maybe it'll make us all feel better about this shit. If there are no victims, there shouldn't be a crime. Yeah. It shouldn't matter if someone has machine guns. It really shouldn't. If some reason cops get called, they come to the house, they kick open the door, they go in there, and dude has a belt-fed Browning M2 sitting on his couch. As long as he wasn't using that to wrongfully deprive someone else of life, liberty, or property, it shouldn't matter. If he was shooting it in a safe manner and the cops see it, it shouldn't matter. But instead, we have to punish everybody because there are criminals out there, and criminals have done bad things. So we got to punish every goddamn body. And that's not the way this shit's supposed to work.
Nope.
You know, I think last check, there's something like 700 and something thousand transferable machine guns in the hands of Americans. That's legally transferable. So that's not counting post-dealer samples and everything else. Obviously, they're in common use. It's just a closed market, which drives the costs on everything. Otherwise, I would own machine guns. Because you can build a machine gun and it doesn't cost $10,000 to build it. Hold on. Give me a sec.
Hmm.
Does that mean appointing an ATF director is stand up to ATF rogue officials? Help President Trump downsize the federal government, including the ATF. Yes, sir, please.
Please start doing that now before they get more ballsy and decide to say, hey, yeah, FRTs are machine guns anyway. We don't care about court decisions. We're just gonna go and nip that in the bud. Oh, by the way, we're banning bump stocks again, even though the Supreme Court said they were unconstitutional.
Dude,
and those receiver decisions, yeah, those receivers are actual firearms, so you got to turn all those in. And then the pistol brace thing, yeah, you don't get that. Pistol braces are skirting the law, so you have to register them.
That's kind of the bad thing about
that's how I see it going right now.
Yeah.
That's them kind of ignoring everything.
That's kind of the bad thing about the way the bump stock case was decided, because it was decided on the procedural grounds. It wasn't decided over whether or not bump stocks were machine guns. So it was decided on APA. It didn't say that it is unconstitutional to ban, or it didn't say it would be unconstitutional to ban bump stocks. It said it was unconstitutional the way the ATF did it with an administrative change. And I realize that the court can only address what's in front of them. But like Alabama this year, Alabama's got a bill sitting in the House, I think, right now, to ban bump stocks. So who knows? It could very, very well be a fight that comes out of Alabama. trying to see whether it said. So there's a lot. There were a few things that have been stopped on procedural grounds that aren't going to do us a whole lot of good in the courts if, say, a law gets passed to ban something or to make something illegal. That case is still going to have to work its way all the way through the courts. So if Alabama bans bump stock, okay, the ATF was stopped under the APA, or because the way they did it through the APA, the Administrative Procedures. But if Alabama bans bump stocks, someone's going to have to take that case all the way through the courts in Alabama, through the federal courts again, to get to the Supreme Court if it goes that far.
Sassy 7 is out there.
What's up, Sister Sassy? One of these days, I got to see about getting to meet together with anybody in Alabama that want to get together. And
I'm gonna have to go and visit you at some point.
Yeah, for sure. I got to make my happy ass up there too.
I mean, I'm in South Carolina, so it's not that far, but well, relatively,
Yeah.
it's not that far. It's not like going to Texas,
Very true.
because you can go from one end of Texas to the other, and it's almost as far as going halfway across the country.
Here, let's see this. Let's see what Mr. Guns and Gear is talking about.
Oh boy, Mr. Guns and Deals,
Huh?
Mr. Guns and Deals.
Hey,
He's always putting that on his Twitter. Deal here, deal there. It's everywhere deal.
Welcome back, everyone. Want to do a quick video about President Trump nominating the next director of the ATF. Before getting into all that, I'm going to be sharing this video on both YouTube, my X page, as well. Trump and his team, they read social media comments. I know that for sure from people who are on his team who have told me that. So comment down below, share the video, get the attention. In the last 48 hours, you guys have probably seen some movement on social media about this topic. And the reason for that is several members of the president's team have reached out to many people that I know, many people that you guys would be familiar with, both on social media as well as gun rights organizations, about who should be appointed for the next ATF director. Basically, long story short, to make the video consumable, the team is debating between the traditional type of pick, so somebody who is a career law enforcement officer, somebody who's been a federal officer before, those sorts of things, i.e. like a cop, which traditionally has been the type of person who's been appointed the ATF.
which has traditionally been really fucking bad. So if they are considering, and they're talking to gun rights groups like GOA and others about who they should pick, maybe there's a little bit of hope here.
Director, like if you look over the history of the ATF and the directors, they're essentially either all former agents or former prosecutors. And then the other side, and the other side of his team rather, is looking for someone who is an industry professional, someone who really understands the firearms industry and all the hurdles that they have to go through and all the problems that the ATF and their rules cause on the firearms industry. So some names that you guys have probably seen being thrown around, of course, in that role would be somebody like Blake Masters, Brandon Herrera, i.e. the AK guy. And then, of course, a lot of different former law enforcement officials have been talked about as well. My preference, and I think probably the overwhelming majority of people watching this video's preference, would be to have somebody who is an industry professional who understands all of the problems that are going on with the ATF and their overregulation of a lot of different things that shouldn't even be covered by the ATF within the firearms industry.
So who knows? Maybe they will actually look at somebody who understands firearms. How about someone who just likes firearms, who understands firearms and understands how firearms operate, so you don't go after somebody for some stupid shit that shouldn't even be a law? Sam, what's up, brother? How are you doing today?
Hey, Sam, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm with you, Chess. I don't see how shall not be infringed can be misconstrued in any other way, but
Yeah, don't even get me started on the NRA. I mean, I don't think we have enough time for me to go over the wrongdoings of the NRA.
How did I put it last night when I was talking about it? Second Amendment needed to be written like they were explaining it to a 2-year-old. So the shall not be, basically, the shall not be infringed should have been the first part of it. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. In the case that
there should have been some subtext in expletives. Don't fuck with it.
Yeah, that too. But definitely the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed should have been right there at the start of it. In case the people ever need to stand up against a tyrannical government, they shall need these arms, and the government has no right to disarm them. You know, shit. I left my time machine in my other pants, otherwise we'd go back and explain this shit to them. Look, guys, in about 150 years, people are going to start getting a whole lot dumber. In about 250 years, they're going to be like fucking potatoes. So we need to write this right now so that a potato can understand it. They'd probably come up with the same language, and you'd have to slap them and go, no, no, no. You have way too high of an opinion of the IQ of a potato, guys. Bring your phone with them and show them the average Karen tweeting about it on fucking X. This is the level of stupid you're going to have to deal with. Bring a couple of decisions with you written by these anti-gun judges. This is the level of stupid you're going to have to deal with. We need this shit rock solid, boss.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's.
And I think the way to get that problem solved is to have somebody who understands it from a manufacturing, from a firearm sales, etc. background. And of course, I'm sure many of you out there are pulling for Brandon Herrera, and I have talked to Brandon. Brandon is dead serious that if he is asked to step into that role, he would gladly do so. But I'm sure there are many other people who also understand the firearms industry.
I will say this: if Brandon got the nod, his freaking or his damn hearings are going to be lit when these Democrats are bringing videos of him up.
The Democrats are gonna go bonkers if Brandon gets brought before the confirmation.
That kind of makes me want him more.
Though I hate to say it, I think most of the Republicans would vote for him, so he'd have just enough to just skirt by a confirmation.
Dude, last night, so the vote for the OEM director. All right. You know, the Democrats spent 30 hours straight on the Senate floor speaking about this guy.
They're just trying to buy time. They're trying to waste as much time as they can because they know that no matter what they do, there's enough Republicans in the House and the Senate to bull rush everything through. So they're doing is just wasting everybody's time as much as they can because they can't do anything else.
Not completely, because there is still a filibuster in the Senate. They can stop some stuff. But what I was getting at, so they spent 30 hours bitching about this dude, right? He got voted in last night. He got confirmed last night. There was at least one Democrat that voted with the Republicans last night. I got to look up the votes and see who it was. But yeah, 30 hours straight just to get this dude, he's voted right in without an issue. It was nice. But yeah, there is still a filibuster in the Senate. So there's a lot of shit Democrats can stop. Because we need, what do we got? 50 something. We need a couple of Democrats to cross the line and vote with Republicans to get anything passed. Let me see. Because one of the guys reminded the Democrats last night that, yeah, remember, you guys wanted to get rid of the filibuster. It's probably a good thing you didn't do it. It's about filibuster and cloture. Maybe let's look at this. That's about like a freaking overview of it. This is the Brennan Center. This ought to be good. Let's see. The Brennan Center. This place is so fucking left, it ain't even funny.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at 30 hours plus of Democrats talking on the Senate floor, 30 hours plus straight, I don't think a single one of them even mentioned that we are a republic. I don't think republic fell out of a single one of their fucking faces. They talked about my democracy and shit, all that, you know, the entire night and into the day and beyond. So effectively set a 60 vote supermajority requirement. And the Republicans have, what's the composition of the Senate right now? Because the Democrats are going to try to absolutely sandbag shit because they're hoping to take seats in the next midterm.
Right. They're doing this just to block, you know, Trump from actually getting shit done. But he's already done enough so far. But still, someone needs to rein in the fucking ATF.
Oh, yeah, they do. I mean, again, the whole freaking government regulating firearms is absolutely unconstitutional. It never should have happened in the first damn place. So it's maddening watching the government try to manage something they completely have no idea about. But they do know that arms in the hands of citizens stop them from being ruled over quite as easy. Sweep and change. Why you gotta waterboard me with all this other shit? All I want to know is
because
the
that's what they
exact
do.
breakup of the Senate right now. All right, so Democrats have 47, Republicans have 53. And I think Buddy last night got 54 votes. That's why I said I think a Democrat voted with the Republicans last night. So really and truly, to pass anything, they've got to get to 60 votes. So really and truly, Republicans need 7 Democrats to pass anything through the Senate right now. Yeah, to actually get anything through, they're going to need a few Democrat votes. That's the reason that Republicans couldn't throw up the Shush Act or something right now and get it passed through. They could get it passed in the House. The House doesn't have a filibuster. The Senate does. So you've got to have a supermajority in the Senate to pass a bill. You can do it in the House just with a simple majority. Which, I mean, Republicans are great at proposing really, really good Second Amendment bills when they don't have the power to pass them. And they piss me off all the time with that. You know, the last time Senate Republicans had the House, the Senate, and the presidency and could have passed anything that they want, no good 2A bills got passed. None. Yeah, Fluff, that whole Fifth Circuit ruling the other day, that was a 3-judge panel. And normally, you're right. Normally, the Fifth Circuit's where we want gun cases to land. But that 3-judge panel was just absolutely horrible. It was a unanimous decision that suppressors are not protected under the Second Amendment. And I for the life of me, man, some of these judges will do anything and everything they can to uphold the government's position on anything and everything. And especially, it seems, when it comes to the Second Amendment. You know, I could have seen that decision really easy out of the 9th Circuit, out of the 4th, 10th, probably. I could have seen that decision easy out of any of those. The 5th Circuit, no, I couldn't have seen that. But yeah, all 3 judges on that panel. Nope, suppressors aren't protected by the Second Amendment. Even though they're considered firearms federally, and these are federal judges, suppressors are considered firearms. That's the only reason the ATF gets to regulate them. And these judges look at it and go, no, these aren't firearms. They're not protected by the Second Amendment. It's fucking mind-numbing. And even if you just went by Miller, the precedent in Miller, which I can't stand that damn case, but suppressors being used by the military constantly would show that those are arms and they're protected under the Second Amendment. But no, they'll say those are attachments, those aren't protected. We talk about it all the time, guys. The courts themselves, for the most part, are not going to save us.
Right. And by that right, I'd also tell the courts, well, then that pen of yours isn't anything. The pen that you use to write down things, that's not protected under the First Amendment either, because that's an attachment.
You got to go back to parchment and a quill.
You got to go quill pen and parchment. You can't go modern ink pen, because that modern ink pen is an attachment. It doesn't count.
You didn't write this decision out with parchment and a quill pen, so I don't have to respect it.
You didn't use an ink quill pen. You didn't write it on parchment paper, and you didn't send it to me via a guy on a horse. So it doesn't count.
Yeah, that would be the way to. But you know yourself, man. They always argue this shit in the way that best suits the government, when they should be arguing this in the way that best suits the individual. But they're never going to do that. It's one branch of government just supporting another branch of government is what it comes down to. Lawfully, what's up, brother man? Fluffy, what's going on, brother? That's the maddening thing about watching a lot of this stuff, and again, we've talked about it plenty of times. The government always plays that game. They win, you lose every single time. And yeah, Sam, yet you have to have a tax stamp and all this. And the reason that it was considered illegal is because he didn't pay a tax stamp and he didn't get it registered, which you only have to register firearms under the NFA. So if the argument is you didn't register it, so it's illegal, but you only have to register firearms, How is it not a firearm and protected if it's a circular firing squad? But we see this constantly in cases. Constantly. This isn't protected. That isn't protected. Well, we get to ban this because, hey, it's not useful in military service. Okay, well, this other thing is useful in military service, so we get to ban it because it's a weapon of war. Huh? And it always comes down to, hey, we're the government, we win, we got more guns than you. No more electronic comms for courts. It's just average people. A lot of people don't pay any attention to this stuff, so it never becomes anything that they factor into a decision that they make. Whereas we're looking at this pretty much all the time because we follow it. We're kind of in that space. So we see the pure insanity of these decisions. You know, if it wasn't for tax stamps and all that other shit, I would be building suppressors. But due to the fact that they are regulated as firearms, you have to register them. You have to pay a tax stamp. You got to do your picture and fingerprints and all that shit. I'm not. So I don't have one. The crazy thing is, if suppressors are, so John Crump and the guys were talking about it yesterday, or was it the day before, like the Shush Act, it will more than likely get buried in another bill, like a continuing funding bill or some shit like that. And that's how we'll end up with the Shush Act actually getting passed. I almost don't see it even getting passed then because Democrats are never going to let that shit slide.
They want to hold on to that control.
Yeah.
Because they're not the party of the people. They're the party of control.
They're the party of the control. They're the party of government.
They're
the government party.
They're autocrats and authoritarians. They're not Democrats. They don't want true democracy because true democracy doesn't give them control.
Well, they definitely want their democracy because when it comes down to it, it's mob rule.
No, they don't. They really don't. And nothing they do. Look at it. Look at it. Nothing they do contributes to a true democracy. It's always their perverted idea of a democracy. It's not true democracy.
Democracy, when it comes down to it, is mob rule. If you get a majority of people, you get to do what you want. That was the thing about having the republic structured the way it was. Is that if you had,
you know something, I'm just remembering the election. You know who got the majority vote?
Well, Trump got the majority vote.
Yeah, he got the popular vote. He got the popular vote. That's the majority vote right there.
That's not what put him in office, though.
No, that's not what put him in office. But regardless, he got the popular vote.
Yeah, well, he got the popular vote in that election. Now, depending on who you poll at any given time, all the stuff with firearms is and the regulation of firearms is completely okay. It's the greater good because the large portion of America believes in the greater good arguments.
The greater good.
Anytime we start hearing about, that we're doing this for your safety or public safety, they're fixing to strip you of a bunch of your rights.
And if you don't know where that movie is, what movie that's from, go watch Hot Fuzz. Hilarious.
I don't think I've seen that in forever.
You know,
matter of fact, I can't remember the last time I watched it.
Where they've all been brainwashed to believe in the greater good.
Yeah, I can't even remember the last time I watched that.
It's a great movie.
It is a great movie.
So I'm sorry to go off on a tangent here, but I'm just so fed up that if I don't have some sort of humor, I think I'm really going to lose it. I'm that unhappy right now.
It is possible. But yeah, there's no doubt that ruling out of the fifth should go en banc. It should get a hearing with the full court. Because remember, the guy pled, but he reserved his right to actually challenge an appeal. So sometimes when you plead out on something, you give up your right to appeal. You are admitting you're guilty. There's no appeals. This guy did it right. So he appealed, but he does have his right to, or he pled, but he does have his right to appeal. So I see this going to the fifth, going to a full panel. With the full panel of the fifth, I see that decision getting overturned.
Yeah. Chessboard, more than half the people you served with believe in the other side instead.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sadly, you are the minority, unfortunately.
Or
You think more military personnel would be pro-gun instead of against, but no, it's the opposite.
At the very least, there's a large portion that serve that believe in the government as being a good. They fought for it. Now, there are a large number of guys, girls, men, women that served that figured out just how dirty our government is. So you can't completely rule them out either. But yeah, when that decision goes to the full court in the fifth, I think we see that decision get overturned. And then it's going to be a matter of what's going to be interesting is to see, and especially when it goes. So I don't know how long it would take to get to an en banc hearing with the full court. It will be interesting to see when the government loses their case there, if this Justice Department will then appeal to a higher court. And right now, I have about zero faith in our Supreme Court because they have pushed off cases that should have been handled this session, and they have pushed them off till next session. The Snope case, or is it Snope v. Brown, the Ocean State Tactical, they should have snatched those cases up. They should not have let those cases sit. There are people going to prison right now because those laws are still in place.
I think Chessboard's referring to the Patriot Act.
Nice strike.
George Bush.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's also the one that he and the Republicans were also the ones that refused to reissue the 94 assault weapons ban.
Yeah, they let it sunset. I mean,
they let it sunset instead.
Yeah, the DOJ had to come out and admit that it had exactly zero statistical effect on gun crime or firearms deaths. So
yeah, unlike now where they'll just lie and cheat and steal.
Oh, they flat out lie about the 94 ban constantly these days. Well, when the ban was in, we didn't have. No, the reason you saw gun crime drop during that same time was because we had laws in place that were taking violent criminals and putting them in prison and keeping them in prison. It had nothing to do with the gun ban itself. I mean, hell, there were more people with ARs after the ban or during the ban than there were when the ban started. That should tell people something. But logical thinking and reasoning ain't very popular skill sets these days. So we still see these people lying their asses off about it. And then some people are just too fucking stupid and lazy to do their own research. We're saying, Fluff, so if it goes to SCOTUS, wouldn't there be such conflict between the NFA not protected, they'd have to hear it? You would think, Fluff. I mean, a normal person looking at that would think so. But I don't know. Again, this last session with the Supreme Court, they were very good, very strong cases that they could have picked up over mag bans and over so-called assault weapons bans that they just let sit. It's because when you have a leftist court, that leftist court will break themselves in half and work overtime to take up cases.
Well, what we need to do in a gun-friendly circuit, what we need to do is get that suppressor thing ruled in the opposite direction. That way it creates a circuit split, and the Supreme Court has to hear it.
Well, see, we could still get a circuit split out of the 5th if it goes on bonk and then that decision gets overturned, because I think the 7th maybe has already said that suppressors weren't protected.
Yeah.
So,
well, we just need ones. We need ones. Just because 2 circuits say no, if one of them says yes, that creates a split, regardless.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. You, because I think the 7th has already said that suppressors weren't protected. So if this goes en banc in the 5th, and the 5th en banc court flips it and says that second or suppressors are protected, then you get your split between the 5th and the 7th.
Well, the 9th is always going to be anti-gun. So
the 9th is an absolute joke, man.
Unless you get rid of some of those justices on the 9th.
Any justice that upholds an unconstitutional law should be removed from the freaking bench. Period. It should be an automatic, hey, someone can go over there and go, wait a second, that's an unconstitutional decision. I am disputing that. And if the evidence is there, that judge should get impeached.
Mm-hmm.
Any of the politicians that pass these unconstitutional laws, any of the cops that uphold them, any of the judges that actually put people in jail over these unconstitutional laws, they should be the ones going to jail. And if the judge sent, 15 people to jail for 3 years apiece for an unconstitutional law, they ought to stack up every one of those 3-year sentences, and that's how long that judge goes to jail for. Period. End of story. You imprison people for that long, that's where you're going. And if the people of America were just fucking informed enough to where when they got on a case where there was an absolutely moronic decision like this, and moronic case like this, if they were on a jury, they should just refuse to convict on the case. They can do that. They don't have to give a justification for it. Or is this person guilty? Nope. You have enough juries do that, then a lot of these laws don't mean shit anyway, because no one's going to jail over them because the juries are going to refuse to convict. Jury nullification is a thing. However, do we have an informed populace in America? No. Do we have people that are going to get on juries and really uphold the individual right versus the state's case? No. Now they'll do that over people because, hey, this black defendant was there and we think this is a racist case, so we're not going to refuse to convict. Yes, that'll happen. But will it be over like majority in gun laws and shit where what's this person getting locked up for? Well, they had a gun without a permit. Are we going to convict them? No. Dexter Taylor's case would be a perfect example. Are we going to take this guy and put him in prison for 10 years because he dared build guns without the government's permission? That should have been a easy note. We refuse to convict. But last time I checked, Dexter Taylor's still sitting in fucking prison right now because he dared to have guns without the government's permission. And the DA and the cops that were involved in this case have pretty much bragged about locking anybody up, no matter what, just for having a gun. Not that they were a danger to society, not that they were a danger to others, but just the fact they had a gun without the government's permission. So we're going to take these otherwise law-abiding, useful members, productive members of society, and we're going to put them in prison. Yeah, Matt Hoover's another one. You know, the jury's sitting there. I'm on that jury. Well, what's this dude? What's he charged with? Well, he's charged with machine guns. Okay, where's the machine guns? What's this little card? Yeah, I ain't convicted. That should have been a slam dunk. But nope. People in America are so stupid, so uninformed, and they love their government so much. And plus, it ain't their ass on the line.
Nope.
You know, so yeah, screw Matt. I mean, it ain't their families that are going to get torn apart, and it's not their families that are going to lose a livelihood. It's not their husband that's going to prison over something that's completely fucking stupid and an absolutely made up case. So they'll uphold the government's end of the case.
Sadly.
And we don't have a justice system, man. We have a legal system. And until enough people wake up and actually look at this shit and refuse to support the government in their horseshit cases, we're going to continue to see stuff like this. The dude, the Navy dude, you know, the jury, I think, was exposed to the fact that, you know, the ATF fixed guns and made them run. The ATF made the RPG-7. They actually made it functional to charge this dude with having a rocket launcher. Anybody in that case should have been like, oh, fuck no, government. Your case is bullshit. But that dude's still sitting in prison today, too.
Yeah.
And the ATF agents that did all that shit in that case, every single one of them should be in fucking prison.
It's true.
You know, they more than just fabricated evidence on the dude. They completely set him up. They fabricated evidence. Then they fabricated the actual weapons he was being charged with, because that rocket launcher was a tube. It was worthless. It wouldn't work. It was welded so it wouldn't work, so you couldn't get in the trigger components. And they cut all the welds, fixed the welds that were on the tube, or welded the hole in the tube, made it functional, and then said, oh, we had a rocket launcher. They should have got the ATF for manufacturing right there. Hey, ATF, you just manufactured a rocket launcher.
You don't have to read that. That's me.
Okay.
I'm just responding to you, okay?
Oh, there was something else popped up too. What the hell was that?
Totally me.
No, this was something else. Yeah, that was some of the comment just buried in something else.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we've all seen these just ridiculous ass cases.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the ATF, and that's part of what we talked about earlier, until you put someone in charge of the ATF that actually respects people's personal rights, that actually respects freedom, that actually knows firearms, we're going to continue to see shit like that. Where the ATF will, in fact, lie and manufacture evidence to put someone who is otherwise not a threat to society in prison. When it's supposed to be law enforcement, right? It's supposed to be protecting the public. You have too many my way or the highway legislators and the Constitution be damned. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's And again, getting the police. You have too many police out there that the law and order guys. And no matter what law you make, no matter how unconstitutional it is, they're going to go out there and damn it, they're going to enforce that shit. And you have too many judges out there that they're absolutely leftist judges that no matter what the case is, no matter how stupid the law is, if someone in their courtroom, is charged with one of these or infraction or one of these dumbass laws, they're going to uphold the government's case every time. That's not the way any of this was supposed to work, but it's where we're at now. It's a reality that we live in every single freaking day. It's mindless drones. It's one thing I can say. There are a few people out there who will still stand up to some stupid shit and call the government when they absolutely have a shitty case. But those are very few, far in between. My wife is one who actually called the government out on having a really shitty case on a dude and refused to convict on a guy. It's been a couple of years ago. And I told her when she got called for jury duty, my only advice was, because we never talked about the case, but I told her, look, if the government doesn't convict you, don't just go along with the government. If they can't bring a case that convinces you 100%, then the only choice you got is not guilty. And that's basically what my wife did in the case. And when she explained everything to me, it was like, yeah, there's no way that dude should have been convicted under those circumstances. Could he have done it? Yeah, maybe. But with the state's case in that, it was absolutely freaking shitty. Wilbur, what's up, my brother?
Hey,
How's
Wilbur.
the back? Still shot out. Wrist is doing good, though. Actually got all my dexterity back. I can pull a trigger again. Because, damn, there for, from November, say 20th to really last week. Hold on, I got my stitches out. So really until last Friday, I couldn't pull the trigger on a Glock style handgun.
That's not good.
No. About 2 weeks before that, I was actually able to pull the trigger on my AKs because those triggers they're broken. They're good triggers. And then just after that, I was actually able to pull the trigger on my 30-aught, which isn't but a 5-pound trigger. And then finally, last Friday, I was able to pick up. I went over to the gun shop, saw my wife, and sitting there, and she showed me a frame she had stippled. All the guts and everything are still in the frame, so I reset the trigger and tried to pull it. Sure as shit, I was able to pull it. It's like that's the first time I've been able to pull a trigger in 2 months. Yeah, it's a little over 2 months, I think, which is, hey, it's nice to be able to pull the trigger again. Then I sat in here and dry fired some the other day. It was like, it's so nice to be able to pull the trigger on my own damn gun. And of course, the doctor's trying to tell you, don't do this, don't do that. And I'm in here dry firing. Sitting in there getting stitches out yesterday. I went and saw the PA, and I had my hand wrapped just real light because hell, I was getting stitches out. I didn't have the big heavy wrap on it and everything. She went to say something about, well, just take it easy on it. Don't do this, don't do that. And I'm over there moving my hand all around and moving my wrist all around. She was like, well, okay then. But yeah. I won't do that,
Honest, I won't do that. I promise.
Yeah, while I'm sitting there doing it. It's like, hey, does it hurt? Like, nah, a little sore here and there, but no, I mean, it's pretty damn good. The only thing that's real sore on the hand right now is around that incision where they freaking rooted around in there with a damn stick. But other than that, it's feeling good. I might actually get back to playing some more video games here shortly.
Yeah.
It took me a while, man. When his freaking first hit, I couldn't even pull the trigger on that Xbox controller hardly.
We got to get you that computer set up too.
Yeah. I definitely got to get a better gaming setup and get back into doing some more gaming. It is definitely more fun than covering the Senate for 30 hours straight while these assholes sit around and stomp their feet and cry. Although I will admit some of that was just fucking must-watch TV. It's like the Democrats trying to get into the Department of Education crying about it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, you shit. You didn't see when they actually tried getting in the building. Here, let me show you this. This is just funny. Come on. You got to love this.
That's just special, isn't it?
It is very special. So, I showed you that, well, we looked at part of it before we switched back to Colorado. So Democrats get out here. They have their big press conference about the Department of Education and Trump shutting it down, which he should. And then they had their march over to the doors, going to show off. See, we're marching to the doors. We're standing up for everybody.
Oh, so they're trying to do their own January 6th.
Yeah.
They
tried
I
to
said
go
that
to
out loud.
the Treasury Department too. Because the doors are locked. They saw the press conference out front. They just locked the doors.
We're coming in. We're coming in. Don't lock the door. We're coming in. Who are you?
You're not coming in.
Who are you?
Who are you?
Who are you? Who are
Who
you?
are you, sir?
Do you have business here?
We do. I have sent the assistant secretary a letter alerting her that we would be here today.
Well, that's why she locked the doors and didn't let you guys in, because you told her you were coming, you dumbass. I like how they're all asking, do you know who we are?
Get out of the way.
Yeah, that's why you can't come in.
We pay for your job. We pay you.
We're members of
We pay
Congress.
you.
We're not a threat.
You're here.
Nobody has accepted a meeting.
Members of Congress.
You are.
We haven't heard that from the secretary. We haven't heard that from the spokesman.
I'm relaying that.
You are not the
And Matt's seen walk around there talking shit. She's lucky someone just has not slapped taste out of her mouth.
We don't have any identification.
Where's your ID?
Where's your ID?
We are not.
That's not good enough.
We are not a threat to security. We're members of Congress, and we want to ask a question.
We walk into the White House.
Shit, you guys are a threat to liberty, is what you are.
This is an outrage. This is an outrage.
I'd like to speak with someone who works here.
So what are you gonna do? You're gonna beat us up if we go in?
I mean, you're gonna,
We want you to move out of the way.
We're not steamrolling you. We're
Get out of the way.
This says all access.
concerned that we can't.
Stand
what?
aside, sir.
We're
This
members
says
of
all
Congress.
access evidence.
Please stand aside, sir.
I'm not standing aside.
Why not?
Because my role is to make sure that.
What authority do you have to block members of Congress? from
You know that dude is loving every second and telling these idiots they can't come in that building. I know I would have been.
Congress, their oversight role.
You don't have a business reason to be here.
You do not have authority, sir. You do not have authority. There is no authority for you to deny members of Congress the oversight.
I seriously would have rolled a chair out the door and started eating a ham sandwich in front of these people.
It's a public
Is what you're saying, is what you're saying.
Or
that
you have to have an escort.
Let me
Somebody
ask
come
you a
down and
question.
escort.
Can I ask my question? Are you
Send them
telling
down.
me today that you have to be on a guest list in order to?
Can you imagine being working in a restaurant and all the errands coming down there trying to order you around? My box of wine's not cold enough.
94 members of Congress signed a letter asking the acting secretary for a meeting and to answer a simple question. And she is
I'm
apparently
not aware of the meeting.
So you have to be on a guest list to enter the Department of Education.
Members of Congress, we don't have to be on a guest
list.
On a list in advance to have access, or if you're coming, then you have to let us know who your escort is. I don't know.
That wasn't true last year. Did something change between last year?
That's always been.
No, it hasn't. I've walked into this building multiple times last year.
Old man told me as a teen, live
We're
your
at
life.
least allowed to walk into that lobby, not stopped outside.
You can't eat it, hump it.
We're trying
Then piss on it and walk away. Yeah, pretty much.
Why are you doing
We're allowed to go
Yeah, they show up with this. They want to have this big press event, and of course they aren't let into the building. If one of them showed up and said, "Hey, I'd like to meet with the acting chair," they would have been let in the building. It would have been fine. But they've got to run out here and stamp their feet and act like a bunch of petulant children.
Department should stay open. We want to share that message.
Working to do that.
Yeah,
we're not so sure. That's why we're here.
Ham sandwich. Now you make me crave one. Dude, a good ham sandwich is hard to freaking beat.
The response I got right here, that doesn't sound like,
Sir.
it's not dangerous.
I'm going to stop you right there. No. I'm going to stop you right there and put it on the record. You did not get a dangerous response
She's
here.
telling me to get out of the way.
You did not get a dangerous response here, so I'm not going to let you put that narrative out there.
This dude has got. I'm on the fence whether if I'm this dude, whether I'm loving every second of this or whether I'm just so annoyed that I'm just hating life.
Somebody coming
No
down
one,
to escort.
but there was no danger or threat to you. So let's just make sure with that.
And I could be on either end of that. Where would you be at, Knight? Would you be like loving life, telling all these idiots to go pound sand? Or would you just be so tired of looking at them?
Obviously, I love to tell them to pound sand.
Yeah, that's who we came to
Or
get someone.
chief of staff.
So what?
I said there's not an exception.
We can,
Why are you not letting us in?
we asked for one.
Why are you not letting me in? Because you showed up here with 100 people and cameras trying to make a scene, and we're trying to work.
You said somebody from the Department of Education, not just a security guard.
I've explained why you're not coming in.
Well, are you prepared to stand here for 24 hours with us? Are you prepared to stand here all night if we decide to stay? All right, well, you just stay right there. You just stay and stand.
Why are you letting us go to that desk like we were able to do last year?
He's not a U.S. employee.
This is a public institution.
Did Elon Musk hire you? Yeah, and he pays me way more than you make in a year, lady, so shut up.
He's not a federal employee.
No, I did this shit for free just to tell you assholes to pound sand.
Yeah, me too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
It's just hysterical to watch them stomp their feet. Do you know who we are? Do you know who we are? Yeah, I know who you are. That's what I'm telling you.
They should come out. They should come out.
We have those too. We have one of those too, just like
At a minimum.
why can't we get?
not have one of those. They have one of those.
He ain't got one of those. We're members of Congress. Let us in. We've always been allowed.
Were you told to deny members of Congress entrance?
Members of Congress or not, if you wanted to have a meeting with the lady, you set up a meeting and you show up and have a meeting. You don't
You
show
have-
up 100 deep with cameras to make a show.
Deny members of Congress from entering this building?
There's no business purpose to be here, so that's why.
There's no business purpose.
We are members of
You
Congress.
say that with a
Many of
straight
us are on
face.
the education committee.
Are
How
you-
could you say there's no
Are you making a
business?
decision for the Department of Education on your own behalf? Were you told to come out and block members of Congress?
And Maxwell Frost over there, he can shut up too. Maxwell Frost, the one who,
Are you making this
I
decision
believe
to
that's,
stand in front of the store
or is
on
that
your own
Maxwell
behalf
by the door?
on behalf
No,
of
that's
the
not Maxwell.
Or were you told to come out here and block members of Congress and ride the desk?
He reminded me of him for a minute. Maxwell Frost is the one who came up with the whole zombie gun thing. These zombie guns running around the streets.
Were you told to stand here, or did you decide to stand here and block members of Congress from entering the Department of Education?
To federal buildings.
We're allowed in there.
So a private security contractor
Do you know who
is
members of
blocking
Congress are?
members of
We're all
Congress.
members of Congress.
Maybe he doesn't understand.
Do you know who members of Congress are? Yes.
Making the decision to block members of Congress from a public access entrance.
I don't think he knows.
You have the authority as a private security contractor to block members of Congress. That has been nice.
Private security contractor. He's probably like ex-SEAL Team 6, and now he's having to listen to these idiots.
Yeah. Oh my, look at that. Who told you to do this? Open the door.
Dude was probably stacking bodies in Iraq and Afghanistan like 3 years ago. Now he's got to listen to this horse shit.
Who are we then?
We have a job to do.
We're not dangerous people. We're not, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
you are.
submit to the class. You guys are way dangerous people.
You're more dangerous than Jan 6 people.
Yeah.
We're teachers.
These idiots can actually fucking pass so-called laws to make
Only
their
I hate to say it, but only the Congress members should be allowed in. Their entourage needs to stay outside.
Well, you know how it is. If they let them in, they're going to bring the whole entourage and everybody.
Yeah, you know
And that's the whole reason for this.
and that's not how that works.
Yeah.
In business, you're only allowed to bring your assistant in at most.
There's no doubt whatsoever. If 1, 2 members, even 5 members of them made an appointment to meet with whoever's over Department of Ed right now, they would have been let in the building. They would have had their meeting. You wouldn't have the cameras there. They wouldn't get their press coverage for, the freaking news tonight, and you wouldn't even heard about this. But that's the whole point behind this whole shit show.
Billionaires and his minions to come in.
I don't know who he is. I don't know who he is, but I know who I am. And I'm a member of Congress with oversight responsibilities trying to request a meeting, and a private security contractor is not allowing me to enter the building.
You know how you request a meeting. You call up and say, hey, can I meet with you?
You forgot how to call or email in the digital age?
There's a lack of transparency here. The members of Congress, the people's representatives are not allowed in. This is not transparent.
They're locking our kids out.
They're locking our kids out.
Now they've called the Department of Homeland Security. We are members of Congress here to talk with the Department of Education, and they're treating us.
Kids deserve to have us go in and fight for them.
This is appalling.
Children of this country deserve that battle.
What they called the Department of Homeland Security on these people?
No, they were talking about the Department of Homeland Security. It may be where that dude's from.
They're blocking us. See this man here, who is a federal employee. He goes. No, he's not. Are you a federal employee? Huh?
Yes.
No, he said he's a federal employee. We pay him. We raise money to make sure that we have a department.
We pay him, lady.
Everybody that's hired at the Department of
You don't pay anybody.
You don't pay anybody. You just take people's money.
Yeah, you take people's money and then you go give it to other people.
And when someone turns the tap off, you get pissed off.
Oh yeah, that's part of what.
Even though it ain't your money, you're spending.
On behalf of your children, you are not allowed to come into this building where you pay taxes. Parents who have children who are disabled, access is being blocked. You vote.
Parents who have kids that are transsexual, left-handed, lesbian, albinos, non-binaries are not being treated. Shut up.
Of sexual assault in our classrooms, on our school grounds. Members of OCR are fighting for your children. We are not allowed in the building to talk to them. We are not allowed to advocate on behalf of America's children.
It's a giant temper tantrum, and it's funny as hell.
Let the cameras see. They're calling all of these gun loading people out on us. They're calling them out on us. Look
These gun loading people.
Who do you see back there?
The doors will open.
Do they have guns on them? Do they have guns?
Yes, because they're security for the fucking building. Of course they've got fucking guns. You fucking dumbass.
Maxine is protected by people with guns every single day of her life.
Yet she's complaining about security of a building that has guns.
I'm chair of the Progressive Caucus. I'm vice-ranking member of the Education Committee. And the baseline responsibility of the Congress is to oversee.
Can you hear the soy falling out of this guy's face
Each
right
and
now?
every one of us have been in this building and through these doors.
Well, see,
but of course, as soon
he doesn't wear the pants in his family. His wife's boyfriend wears the pants in the family.
shut down
More
the
than
Department of
likely.
Education, suddenly they don't want to let members of Congress in that ask questions. Musk and the Republicans, they say they're supposedly about saving us money, bringing transparency, seeing where the dollars really go. No, they're the ones that lock the doors and make sure that your elected representatives can't even.
So when you stop Democrats from throwing their little history inside the building, not transparent. When they tell you you have to ask and see what's in it, that's complete.
And give them as tax cuts to their billionaire friends.
And are they aware of Title I, where mothers are getting up, going to work for minimum wages, and they cannot afford the education that the billionaires have for their children, and we try to help them by giving money to this.
Dude,
kind
the
of person
class
here,
warfare
and
and
the
the
people who work here,
victimhood are
including
dripping
all of the
out of
people
these
in
people.
this country, and those Title I families who need some help, both in urban areas and rural areas, and mothers who can't even afford the child care that they need for their children while they're taking these jobs, making minimum wages, and we're helping them with Title I. And this man is blocking the door. He says he's a federal employee. He won't tell us who.
You know what I get? I would have told my name is Dover. Ben. First name Ben. Dover.
The members of Congress who are elected, who vote for the funding for all of them in this building, and for the student loans.
Here, you can get my name right, lady. It's me off. Officer Jack.
That we can't come in and talk with anybody. Is that right?
Does this remind you of the other people who have blocked the schoolhouse doors before?
Yes.
You mean like Democrats?
Does this remind you of the people that tried to hold Congress hostage because they didn't want to vote on a bill?
Civil rights violation. They're prepared to lock the schoolhouse doors of 49 million children in America who go to public schools. And even more
The
students.
Department of Education never should have existed in the first place. So that place getting burnt to the goddamn ground and the ashes salted does not hurt my feelings. That is Maxwell Frost. Lightning Scott, what's up, brother man?
Well, maybe he
as we
won't
fight
get
in
fired.
defense of public education and students.
Well, maybe he'll save his job.
Where is it?
Okay, back up, and this is going to go
That looks like
out in
Matt.
history.
Lightning Scott's out there. What's going on, Scott?
The doors of the
Saw my brother Lightning come in.
so they can see.
He's lightning fast.
Department of Education, get a good copy of him. Let him get recorded in history for what he's doing today. Let his children see him. Let his children know that he was standing in the way of all children being educated. Look them in their eye. Come on, hold your face up. Look at them. Let them see you.
She's
This
such a
is him.
fucking
Look at him.
condescending
What's your
cunt.
name? Tell us your name. Give me that ID again. So what?
I showed you the ID.
You do what?
I showed you the
Could
ID.
you let me see the ID again? Huh?
No.
No? Will someone else ask him for the ID? Will you ask him for it? He won't let me see it again. You didn't see it.
I
You
haven't
didn't
seen
see
it.
it. They didn't see it.
Because there is a question as to whether or not you're a private security agent that's important to us, or an employee of the Department of Education.
There's no identification on you that we can see.
Tell him no, I left my ID in my other pants. I lost it after I showed it to Maxine.
Everybody got another job when they closed down the Department of Education. Have you been promised another job in lieu
So you're
of?
letting us in? I'm going in to
He didn't let you see the ID.
We'll be going in with you. We'll go in with you.
We're not dangerous. I'm not. I got bad arthritis. I'm not going to hurt you.
Shit.
Oh, he
You
wants
done
you.
tore them fingers and hands up eating that.
I can't, Maxine. I'm not capable.
Yeah.
All I got is
Yeah.
my mouth,
Yeah.
my questions,
Yeah.
my agency as Article 1 of the
Excuse
Constitution.
me.
That's
Let
all
them
I
see.
got.
He's blocking his
That's,
ears.
that's all I got.
He's blocking his ears.
All I got. That's all I got. I'm not a prize fighter.
She was trying to hear that was what was on the phone, Max.
Children.
You
I'm
absolute
speaking on behalf
idiots.
of my 3 children, my 3 grandchildren, my 3 great.
Yeah, they are trying to dox him, Matt.
And
Good
for the
point.
ones that are coming, I got 3.
You know what he should do?
Huh?
Guaranteed.
He should go to the around to the back door where it says employees only and go in.
I got a 2-year-old.
I wonder if there is an employee only entrance.
There is.
I'm in the Department of Education right now, where they have locked the doors. I've been in this building.
You can hear the Democrats in the background doing their little news hits. I'm here at the Department of Education where they had locked the doors.
Jim Hatfield. Put that in your Collins. Jim Halpin. Is that your name? Is that your name? Oh, he said that's his name. So put that when you show his picture, identify it. That's his name.
About Trump's plans to shutter to cut Title I funding that fund so many of our public schools to slash
So why are they so pissed off? Because they aren't getting into the building?
Well, they wanted, I guess, what I'm gathering is these members of Congress wanted to go down to the Department of Education and throw their fit in the lobby to keep the Department of Education and all this shit. And they just told them, no, you can't come in. You can have your little fucking hissy fit out here. So
If the
I guess
department
Maxwell's
says,
doing his hit on social media.
if the department says you're not allowed in, then guess what? You ain't allowed in. Member of Congress
Yeah, it's
or
like
not.
you said, look, when you make your appointment to come in, you come in, you're escorted, you come up to the desk,
You
you
come
go
in,
through whoever
not
you gotta
you, not
see.
you and 200 other people. Only you.
Yeah.
See, that's why these senators are pissed off, because their entire entourage can't come in. If they had gone down there by themselves without like 300 other people, they probably would have been allowed in. But
Yeah,
only the sitting members of Congress and the Senate.
They would not have got all the news coverage from it, and that's all this was about. I mean, you look at the reflection in that window. There's 100 people standing around out there.
Yeah.
Couldn't pay me enough to stand there and listen to those bozos. I don't know. They catch me on the right day. Yeah, I would have sat there and listened to them, and I would have laughed right in their faces the entire time.
Yeah.
There's not a one James Meredith that is trying to get an educational opportunity. We're talking about 50 million children.
It's nothing but them trying to get
Chessboard, I know that. They
their
don't want
press hits
people to
on the
know where the
news.
money's supposed to go. They don't want people to know that they're wasting American tax dollars on whatever the fuck they want. Everybody knows this by now. We saw everything with USAID.
Oh yeah, and that's the tip of the iceberg. That ain't even getting into the meat of it.
That's not the meat and potatoes. That's just the side dish.
Yeah, a lot of these assholes are up here. They're raising so much hell about USAID and all that. They're making money off that because they send money to this NGO. That money gets funneled right back into their pocket. Kickbacks, yes, Lightning.
Shame on them. Shame. Speaking for the generations of young people who are our future workforce, who will have a
That was just the first stone, yeah.
because of the decisions of this administration.
Because we know good and well, if they can find that much that quick, they haven't even begun to scratch the surface on just how much money these idiots waste every single day. And when it comes to the Department of Education, the Department of Education is just a big cash cow for these people too. Think of the National Teachers Association, the AFT, the Federation of what is it? American Federation of Teachers. I mean, those are all big unions that support Democrats with everything they do. There should never have been a federal Department of Education. Education should have been handled at the city, the town, the local levels. But they're worried if it's handled like that, they won't be able to force all their little leftist agenda down everybody's throats.
Just wants everything they come unlock the door for him. If some rich guy that represents a bunch of lobbyists that want the private school vouchers and to make money off the Department of Education, you think they'd open up the door for him?
If somebody were 19 years old and they were an engineer who could steal the data out of the Department of Education, they would open the door for
So open to the billionaires.
Steal the data. In other words, open it up and let everybody know the truth. That's stealing data these days.
Of the Constitution. That's who we are. You know, they've lied on us and said that we're dangerous.
All about the Benjamins. These people get rich working to take away our freedoms, working to take away our rights, and working to strengthen the government. They get rich doing it. I have zero sympathy for these idiots.
Well, an appointment, we notified them that we were coming.
You also don't need an appointment. Last year, I walked into this building multiple times with my staff and I. In a normal government that's not under an authoritarian wannabe dictator like
And how these people calling somebody an authoritarian is absolutely priceless.
That is usually how it works. That's not how it's working today. They've locked all the doors are locked.
Now how it works is they send police after members of Congress and they let January 6th rioters. They walk them out.
It's definitely all about the Benjamins.
That stormed the Capitol on January
Those
6th.
dollar bills.
Yeah.
But they won't let us into the building to ask, are you
These idiots right here will use this to fundraise. They'll use it to funnel money into their pockets.
It's simple. How do you administer the programming under the Department of Education once the department is gone? That's a simple question.
Simple. That funding should stay in the states, you dumbass. States survive for a very long time without the Department of Education.
How do you administer the Higher Education Act?
FAFSA.
How do you do that? Because I'm sure it's possible. Tell us about all the technological innovations.
Yeah, that should have been a state deal that should have stayed in the states too. States could have made compacts where their people could have worked together for a common defense. But I mean, when it comes down to it, so the federal government was only supposed to have a couple jobs: solve disputes in between states and provide for a common defense. That was pretty much it. Now we've come to where these freaking Senate or these Congress people, I think these are all House members, think that they're rock stars and they're super duper important and they get to do and go wherever they want.
To administer the mission, the imperative of the Department of Education. That's all.
And government is their God, kids. Don't make any mistake about that.
Mm-hmm.
How are we going to do this without this government department? Same way we did it for decades before that.
Some of these private companies sometimes charge us taxpayer money, and they don't even have some of the kids in their schools.
Well, you know, I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, so I am.
This is watching a conversation in between two amoebas.
Yeah. I'm done with this. I think I'm gonna head out. I will see you later, man.
Well, head out. I'm gonna watch a little bit more of this, and then I gotta head out, and then I gotta get ready to get out of here.
Because I gotta save some brain cells for tomorrow.
We'll save you some brain cells, Knight. We'll talk to you later, brother.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was originally, Scott, but apparently it wasn't.
And the lost and the left out. But it was for people who wanted to line their own pockets.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch a little bit of this because I haven't watched the end of this, and then I'm gonna pull a night strike and I'm gonna hit exit stage left too. That way I can get ready to get out of here in a couple minutes. Matter of fact, hell, it's already 4:40.
And my unwillingness to have the Department of Public Instructions pay them, they sent the Capitol Police.
It's a racist.
So this is not, this is not an unfamiliar space for me to be in.
And it should be unfamiliar, but unfortunately, it resonates.
No, I'm ready to go to jail, y'all.
government transparency for you. Hold it back.
Screaming, right? I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. You can talk to that.
All right. Now that we done had enough fun with that. Anyway, I do got to get out of here, guys. I got to get out of here. I got to get cleaned up, and then I got to head into town. So we'll see what we got going on later tonight. Daniel, good for showing up, brother. We'll catch you after a while. Live life, Fluffy, Chessboard, everybody that came in, man. I love you guys to death, and we'll catch you guys after a while. Be cool. Keep that thing on you at all times. You know how we roll. Later, guys.